What about the fact that last year with the Celtics in the playoffs, they missed a lot of the big stars? I mean, did they face? Let me ask you this question, and I'm thinking out loud as I ask it. Throughout the postseason last year, did they face anybody as formidable as Brunson getting to the championship? Because even when they faced Dallas, Dallas was not healthy.
No, nobody was healthy. They had someone in every series. And I obviously my homerism, I wanted to downplay that when people brought it up. And now you look back and you have to admit that they had to have something to do with it. The fact that they were not saying they couldn't have won, but they were 16-3
Right.
last year. One of the great runs ever. One of them, not the best, but Bulls I think had something great one time but in the realm of four series now that we have, this is one of the great runs ever, so I think they would have won, but they didn't. You hardly were challenged seriously challenged, so they would have had a harder road.
You know what? I don't know. With the age of the three-point shot, I don't know if I'm being a little archaic here, but I've taken a look back at the series, after the dust settled, and they had four 20-point leads, right? And they blew three of them.
Yes.
Is it fair, in this age of the three-point shot, which has changed everything, is it fair to question a team's mettle when they blow three 20-point leads?
Oh, it's something hard to live with. It's a very embarrassing thing on your resume, I think, and losing those first two, especially, the way, I mean, and which turned, changed everything naturally. I know, yeah, it's not good. They'll be lucky if people tend to, let it slide, or
Right.
if this isn't something that people were bringing up in 3, 5, 7, or 10 years, they'll be lucky, because I think it will be something that people, you're not going to see this. I'll put it this way. I'm assuming we'll never see this again. I mean, never. That we'll see a team with a 60-win team lose two 20-point games to open up a series, two 20 leads. So,
Right. Right.
I don't. I put money. If you asked me to, put a bet down, I totally would bet that it's not going to happen, and be willing to take the consequences. So, they're going to be lucky if people don't dwell on this.
Does Missoula deserve to take some heat?
I think when you stake your claim on the three, and you're going to live and die by it, you better be ready to take the heat if it blows up in your face. And I think it's a safe thing to say that it did in those two games. And this utter reliance. Now, it wasn't just the offense. That's the other thing.
You pointed out defensively. I mean,
sloppy defense.
Yeah.
Careless
Yeah.
turnovers, careless passes.
Right.
Taking it the 20-point lead. You don't take it for granted. It was too much. If it's anything less than 6 minutes to go, I'd say you better take it. Play as if you're down 20, or at least play harder. Yeah, I think somehow, some way, it happened once. It just looks real bad when it happens as frequently as it did, because it wasn't just the 20 that lost to 14, and But all right, that's NBA. But Joe, Joe's having an interesting ride. He's still a young coach. He's still young. He's still learning this, but he's certainly going to, the resume has been, I'm sure we say it's getting more, it's filled out with a different variety of experiences now. So, we'll see how he is next year.
Well, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, the guy can coach. I mean, that was the big thing, right? We said, can he coach?
Yeah.
I mean, he can coach. That's been established. Joe Mazzulla is an NBA coach. He's got a ring. Boom. He deserves it. He's there with, he's on the mantle with all the other guys that have won. But you wonder about the adjustments. Again, when you don't have Porzingis healthy and you don't have Holiday the same way you had them last year, do you have, and again, this is the ultimate second guess. I mean, this is a big time second guess, because I certainly wasn't thinking about this going in. Will experience teach Missoula to say, okay, Holiday's not the same, Porzingis isn't the same. Do I need to adjust my game plan? Because when I had those two guys at 100%, I could launch the three and I could play that way. But I don't have them now. So After blowing that 20-point lead in the first game, do I need to make an adjustment? That's my second guess. And believe
Well,
me, it's a second guess.
I think that's fair. I think
Yeah.
that's fair. And and then, but then again, I was thinking during that famous game 5 that he would, if he were the type of guy, that a certain other type of guy, he would have been willing to go tell us all, "I told you so."
Right.
Because that's our game, guys. You just saw it.
Right.
And so don't to get off my back, But he's not that kind of guy. He's never going to say that out loud, and or anything like that. So we don't know what he really thought about watching what they were doing in Game 5, except to say that's the way we can play, and we know, that is the way they can play. And it was an excellent game, but
when you have two guys that are hurt like that, you just again, you can't become so reliant on it. All right, final question on this. He's got a year left, right, on his deal. He's a lame duck?
Well, that's a good
that
question.
Weird to you?
I haven't. I'm not even sure. I never thought about it.
No. Yeah. He's got a year left. I mean, is that odd?
Yeah. So, he's got a very wise and patient boss, if you will. We know that, Brad. And, Brad, once again, he's got Brad's confidence. I would think Brad is, he did select him and he did promote him and from when we never even thought about him. So he sees something in him. He has belief in him. I don't know how much Brad, is advising him in any way. I don't know. We don't know this. I'd love to know, but so yeah, no, but that's a fair question. He's going to be under scrutiny. At the very least, he's going to be under continued scrutiny. If they'd won a second one, people would shut up. But no. After this, even when you concede the injuries, the way it happened was distasteful. Let's be honest, and that's that horrifying. Now, I've got to throw this one out there. They lost by 38, and in the clinching game in the Western Conference Finals, Denver lost by 32. You imagine that the two combined were 80 points.
I know.
So it's they're not the only one with an issue here.